Welcome to the third session of module 5 spur gears. So in this session we are going to discuss the different forms of the gear tooths and the difference between cycloidal and involute tooth profile and a derivation on minimum number of teeth on gear and pinion. So there are two types of gear tooth forms. One is involute and another one is cycloidal. So here we know that the cycloidal form of a curve is nothing but it is a curve traced by a point on circumference of circle which rolls without slipping on fixed straight line, right? So same thing we have discussed in cams. So here in case of cycloidal tooth profile, so we have two types of gears. So one is rack, which is nothing but teeth are cut on a straight line, whereas another one is a gear, so which is having a circular pitch circle. So along the pitch circle we have the profile. So one is epicycloidal profile or curve and another one is hypocycloidal curve. So let us understand the straight teeth. So here you can see it is a teeth which is cutting on a rack. Okay, so rack tooth profile we call it as, first figure is called as rack tooth profile. So here the curve generated by a point on a circle 1 by its motion to the right on a straight line. Okay, so above the horizontal line shows the circle 1. Okay, below the horizontal line shows the circle 2. So here circle 1 is rotating towards the right side along the straight line path. Okay, so here what happens, the curve generated by a point on a circle 1 by its motion to the right on the straight line, so which is the pitch line, we call this one as pitch line. Okay, so is the profile of the face of the cycloidal tooth. So whatever this profile is there, which is nothing but profile of the cycloidal tooth, and curve generated below the pitch line, this one, the curve generated below the pitch line by a point on a rolling circle 2 is the flank of the tooth profile. Okay, so this below this pitch line represent the flank. So then coming to the second figure, so this figure shows the gear tooth profile. The circle 1 which is rolling on the outside of the pitch circle, see this is called the pitch circle, and here circle is rolling on outside the pitch circle and generate epicycloidal. So this is nothing but epicycloidal curve, generate epicycloidal, so which is the face of the or face portion of the tooth profile. This represents the face portion of the tooth profile. The circle 1 rolls without slipping on the right, so it is rolling towards right side direction without having any slip. The circle 2 which is below the pitch circle, circle 2 rolls without slipping to the left on the inside of the circle, which generate hypocycloidal and representing the flank profile of the cycloidal tooth. So this represents the face of the tooth, face profile of the tooth, whereas this is the flank. So what happens, so like this we can generate the tooth profile. Okay, so this is nothing but cycloidal tooth profile. Next one, involute tooth profile. So what do you mean by involute profile? The involute of a circle is the curve traced by the end of the thread as it is unwound from the stationary cylinder. Okay, so if there is a thread which is wound on the circumference of the circle. So if I unwound, then there is a curve, right? That curve is nothing but a involute curve. Okay, so here consider a string AE. So here you can see the string AE, this AE. Consider the string AE, which is wrapped on the circumference of the circle. When the string is unwound from the circle, it takes straight form, right? It takes straight form like this: small e, capital E, small e, capital E. So which is perpendicular to this radius line. This AE is perpendicular to radius line. The point E finally reaches to this small e, correct? Reaches to small e, passing through the points A, B, C, D, E. The curve AE is known as the involute. Okay, this curve AE is known as the involute. So the same thing is there in the second diagram. Okay, so then what is the difference between involute and a cycloidal tooth profile, or the comparison between involute and a cycloidal tooth profile? So in case of involute tooth profile, interference occur. In case of involute tooth profile, interference occur. So in the upcoming slide I will explain what is interference. Whereas in the cycloidal tooth profile there is no interference. The pressure angle remains constant throughout the operation in case of involute, whereas it varies in case of cycloidal. A variation in center distance does not affect the velocity ratio in case of involute, whereas center distance should not vary in case of cycloidal. So it is easier to manufacture involute profile, tooth profile, whereas cycloidal it is difficult to manufacture. These involute tooths are weaker, whereas cycloidal are stronger and smooth operation. More wear and tear there in the involute type of tooth profile. Less wear and tear is there in the cycloidal tooth profile, because if you see the profile of the tooth, the profile is smooth in case of cycloidal, whereas in involute, so it is little bit rough surface or having sharp edges. Next one, properties. So we have to understand the properties of the involute profile, because involute tooth are finding more application than the cycloidal, because it is easy to manufacture, therefore it find more application or wide range of application compared to cycloidal one. So first property is the pressure angle. So the pressure angle remains constant throughout the operation, that is from the starting of engagement to the end of the engagement. There is no variation in the pressure angle. So when two gears are in mesh, the angular velocity ratio is inversely proportional to the size of the base circle, because base circle defines the size of the gear. Okay, whereas in involute profile, the second property is it is inversely proportional to the size of the, that is velocity ratio inversely proportional to the size of the base circle. And third property is the common tangent, so which is passing through the pitch point. Okay, is the line of action. It is the line of action and also the path of contact between the involute. So this common tangent acts as a line of action and also the path of contact between the two involutes. Then the shape of this profile, that is involute profile, depends only on the dimension of the base circle, because base circle defines the size of the tooth profile. Here in case of involute also it depends mainly on the base circle, size of the base circle. Then the base circle diameter and pitch diameters of two mating involutes are directly proportional. Okay, suppose if the base circle diameter increases, then obviously the pitch circle diameter also increases because they are directly proportional. Then the radii of the pitch circles of the meshing involutes are determined from the intersection of the common tangent to the two base circles. So there is an intersection point between the two base circle. Okay, so using that we can determine the radii of the pitch circle. So last property, no involutes as a pitch circle or pressure angle until it is brought in contact with the other mating gear. Yes, absolutely. When there are two gears are in contact, then only the problem occurs. Therefore, there should be a two gears which are in contact with each other and having the motion between them. Motion has to transfer from one gear to another gear. Then only the point of a pitch circle, pressure angle and other properties will come into picture. Next one, interference in involute. So if you see the figure, so this red color portion represents the interference which are occurring in the mating gear. Okay, so interference is nothing but it is a phenomenon, okay, between the two mating teeth when the tip of one teeth undercuts the root of other mating teeth. There is a cutting of root takes place by the tip of the other gear because of the presence of interference between the two gears. So this occurs because of shifting the point of contact between the two gears below the base circle. Therefore, involute can exist only outside the base circle. So that is one of the major reason for the interference shift in the base circle, the point of contact between the two involute gears, right? Uh, Below the base circle there is a shift in the point of contact between the two gears. So because of it there is a interference occur between the two gears. Next one, there are some methods, standard methods by which we can avoid the interferences. One is the pressure angle may be increased. What happens if we increase the pressure angle? So pressure angle means it is the angle between the common normal and the common tangent. So if we increase the pressure angle, there is a slight increase in the point of contact takes place between the two mating gear. So therefore we can avoid the interference. Second point is the height of the tooth may be reduced. So what happens if we reduce height of the teeth, then the point of contact between the two gears may be shifted to the another point. Thereby also we can avoid the interference. Third important method is the addendum circles of the mating gears should be adjusted in such a way that they must intersect the common tangent to the base circle between the point of the tangency. So just by uh, adjusting the addendum circle we can avoid this interference. So next important derivation is we have to find the minimum number of teeth on gear and pinion to avoid the interference. So in order to avoid the interference, this is one of the important method, that is we have to find the what is the minimum number of teeth which is required on gear and pinion. So to derive this, let us consider the uh, wheel and the pinion which are in mesh condition. So here A represent the center of the pinion and B represent the center of the gear. Okay, so this is wheel or gear and this is the pinion. So here blue circle represent the pitch circle, this is addendum circle, pink circle represent the addendum circle, whereas this is represent the red color represent the base circle. Okay, so this is base circle, this is pitch circle and this is addendum circle. Here also in the pinion we have base circle, pitch circle, whereas addendum circle is not required for the derivation. But in actual practice, for both wheel and pinion, these three circles should be there. But for derivation purpose, for the pinion, addendum circle is not required. So once we draw the two, that is wheel and the pinion, then we have to connect the centers of both wheel and pinion. Join A and B. A represent the center of pinion, B represent the center of the wheel. Okay, then draw the, so here P represent the pitch point. Pitch point represent the intersection of the two pitch circle. So here the pitch circle of wheel intersecting with the pitch circle of the pinion. Okay, so once this is over, then draw the common tangent. So common tangent to the base circle. See, this is the base circle of pinion, base circle of wheel. Draw the common tangent to base circles. Okay, so EF. So here EF represent the common tangent to the base circle. Now from the center of the wheel to the common tangent point, draw a line. So draw a line BF and its angle, let me consider it as phi. Similarly for the pinion also, from the center of pinion to the tangent line, draw a line. Its angle is phi. Okay, then I'm going to connect the tangent line and the center of the pinion by a line FA or AF, and this line cutting the pitch circle at this point. The line FA cutting the pitch circle at this point. Similarly, I'm going to join the tangent line and center of the wheel, BE, and this line BE cutting the pitch circle at this point. Okay, so like this we have to draw the diagram in order to derive the minimum number of teeth on gear and pinion. So here the portion FP is represented by D and portion PE is represented by C. And in this diagram, BP is nothing but what? Capital R, that is the radius of the pitch circle, especially for wheel. It is represented by capital R. Whereas for the pinion, AP is the radius of the pitch circle, which is denoted by small r. And we know that this EF represents the common tangent to the base circle. The maximum value of addendum radius of the wheel to avoid the interference can be BE. So this is the maximum value of a addendum in order to avoid the interference. Okay, it should not exceed. What happens if it exceeds the point E? Definitely it damages the root of the opposite gear, right? If it exceeds this line or this length, damages the root of the pinion gear. Okay, that's why this is the maximum length of the addendum or maximum addendum radius of the wheel in order to avoid the interference. Now I will derive the minimum number of teeth on gear. Separately I will derive for gear as well as pinion. So first case is minimum number of teeth on gear. So let us consider the same diagram. So in this diagram, our point of interest is the line BE, because this is the maximum radius in order to avoid the interference, addendum radius. So BE square can be written as BF square plus EF square. So by using Pythagoras theorem, BE square can be written as, so in this triangle BEF, BE square can be written as BF square plus EF square. So here this EF can be written as FP plus PE. EF can be written as FP plus PE. Therefore in place of EF write it as FP plus PE. So but this BF is nothing but what in this triangle? In this triangle BF represent cos square phi, r square cos square phi, because BP is the radius of the pitch circle, that is capital R. This is capital R, whereas AP is smaller. Therefore in this triangle we can write BE square as R square cos square phi. Triangle BFP, in this triangle we can write BF square as R square cos square phi, whereas FP, so this FP can be written as in this triangle only BFP, so it is opposite side, therefore R sin phi, whereas PE, so PE we have to consider this triangle APE, this is opposite side, PE is opposite side if we consider this triangle, therefore radius is R sin phi, and we have whole square, therefore consider whole square. So A plus B whole square, so in the form of A plus B whole square, therefore we have to expand it, A square plus B square plus 2AB, right? So therefore, so we have expanded this. A square means R square sin square phi, whereas a small r sin square phi plus 2 times of capital R into small r sin square phi. Now we have to we can take R square as common, capital R square, therefore remaining terms are sin square phi plus cos square phi, plus here we have sin square phi as common, take it outside, so therefore R square small r square plus 2 times of capital R into small r, and here we know that sin square theta plus cos square theta is 1, therefore in place of sin square phi plus cos square phi we can write 1, therefore above equation becomes R square plus sin square phi into small r square plus 2 times of capital R into small r. Now we can take R square. Suppose if I take capital R square as common, so what happens? 1 plus, here 1 divided by R square into small r square plus 2 times of capital R into small r into sin square phi. Next I am going to take small r inside this bracket, so I am going to take small r inside the bracket, therefore what happens? R square into 1 plus small r divided by capital R into small r divided by capital R plus 2 into sin square phi. Therefore now we are going to take the square root on both left hand side as well as right hand side. So therefore here B square get cancelled, therefore BE is equals to R into square root of 1 plus small r divided by capital R into small r divided by capital R plus 2 into sin square phi. So let me call this one as equation number 1. So next one, the maximum value of addendum of wheel can be equal to, so here BE minus pitch circle, which is nothing but, see this is BE minus pitch circle, see this is the pitch circle, so whatever the remaining portion which represent addendum of the wheel from this the point to the point E, this is nothing but addendum of wheel. Okay, so therefore addendum of wheel AW represent addendum of wheel is equals to BE minus BP. So this length BE minus this BP, this extra line or this difference from this point to point E represent the addendum of wheel. So therefore in the previous case or in the previous slide we got BE equation, right? BE is equals to 1 plus R by R plus 2 into sin square phi, right? In place of BE we are substituting this equation. So BP is nothing but radius, capital R. BP is capital R. Therefore, addendum of wheel is equals to substitute BE value minus BP value. We can take R common. Therefore, after taking R as common, this is the equation. Then addendum should be multiplied with the module. Okay, addendum of the wheel should be multiplied with the module in order to avoid the interference. That's why here we have addendum alone, right? So we have to multiply the module. So the above equation becomes addendum of the wheel multiplied by the module, and remaining same as it is we have to write. So let us consider capital T as a number of teeth on wheel and small t as a number of teeth on pinion, and we know that module M is equals to capital D by capital T. So D represent the diameter of the pitch, whereas T represent the number of teeth on wheel. Okay, it also can be written as small d by small t. Or so diameter can be written in terms of radius. So 2 times of capital R divided by T is equals to 2 times of small r divided by small t. Therefore, radius in terms of module and number of teeth can be written as capital R is equals to small m capital T divided by 2, or small r is equals to small m small t divided by 2. So wherever radius is there, I am going to substitute module times of number of teeth by 2. So in place of capital R, we are substituting mt by 2, and in place of small r, small mt by 2. So after simplifying, because so here also we had module and here also we had module. Okay, so therefore this module get cancelled and these are the remaining terms. And we know that gear ratio capital G is equals to number of teeth on wheel to number of teeth on pinion, right? So here we have in the inverse form, right? Therefore small t by capital T can be written as 1 by G. Here small t by capital T can be written as 1 by G, because we have capital G is equals to capital T by small t. Therefore above equation becomes, in place of small t by capital T we can write 1 by capital G, here also 1 by G. Therefore minimum number of teeth on wheel to avoid the interference is equals to 2 times of addendum of wheel divided by 1 plus 1 divided by gear ratio into 1 divided by gear ratio plus 2 into sine square phi minus 1. So this is the equation, minimum number of teeth on gear to avoid the interference. So next is suppose for equal number of teeth on pinion and wheel. So G represent number of teeth on wheel to number of teeth on pinion. Suppose if these two becomes equal, therefore G is equals to 1. G is equals to 1. So the above equation becomes T is equals to 2 times of addendum of wheel divided by root of 1 plus 3 sine square phi minus 1. So in place of 1, if we substitute, this equation becomes like this. Call this one as equation number 2. So sometimes in the numerical or in the problem, they ask to find minimum number of teeth on wheel, then we have to use this equation. Sometimes they give the condition both pinion as well as wheel having the same number of teeth, then we have to use equation number 2. Similarly, the minimum number of teeth on a pinion. So again we are considering the same diagram. Okay. The maximum value of addendum radius of the pinion to avoid the interference can be AF. Whereas in the previous case we have considered BE. This is the maximum length. It should not exceed this length. Whereas for pinion, the length of the addendum should be maximum. Maximum length should be AF. Okay. So if it exceeds this line or this length, what happens? There is a undercut which takes place for the wheel. That's why this is the maximum value of addendum or length of a addendum. So let us consider this triangle AEF. AEF. This is the maximum length, therefore use Pythagoras principle. Therefore AF square is equals to AE square plus EF square. This EF can be written as FP plus PE. EF can be written as FP plus PE. Next, so consider the triangles, and in place of AE, so this AE can be written as uh, R square cos square phi, because AP is R smaller, R square cos square phi. Then FP or PF is nothing but it is the opposite side for this triangle BPF. Therefore capital R sin phi, whereas PE is opposite side for this triangle APE, therefore small r sin phi. So it is of A plus B whole square. We have to expand it. So after expanding this A plus B whole square form, this is the equation which we got. In this equation, we have to take the common. Here also we have r square, small r square, small r square. Therefore, sin square phi plus cos square phi. And in the remaining equation, sin square phi is the common. Sin square phi, you take it outside. Remaining terms are r square, capital R square plus 2 times of capital R into small r. So this becomes 1 sin square theta plus cos square theta. Therefore r square plus sin square phi into r square plus 2 times of capital R into small r. Then we are taking small r square as common. Therefore these are the obtained equation. 1 plus 1 divided by r square into r square plus 2 capital R into small r into sin square phi. So again we are taking capital R inside the bracket. Therefore the equation becomes small r square into 1 plus capital R divided by small r into capital R divided by small r plus 2 into sin square phi. So we are taking the square root on both sides of the equation. Therefore AF is equals to small r into square root of 1 plus capital R by small r into capital R by small r plus 2 into sin square phi. And the maximum value of addendum of the pinion can be equal to AF, that is the maximum addendum length minus pitch circle radius. That difference is nothing but a addendum of the pinion, right? So that is AP is equals to AF minus AP. So this is pitch circle radius, AP. This is the maximum length of addendum. Okay, maximum length of addendum minus pitch circle gives the addendum of a pinion. Okay, so therefore AF, this is the AF equation, whereas AP is nothing but smaller. Therefore addendum of pinion is equals to AF value or equation of AF minus radius of a pitch circle. So after taking R as common, because here also we have R and here also we have smaller, we can take it common. Therefore this is the equation. Then to avoid the interference, we have to multiply module to addendum of the pinion. Multiply module to the addendum of pinion. So we can easily avoid the interference. Therefore, above equation becomes AP into M. And we know that module can be written as capital D by capital T. Therefore, radius can be written as mt divided by 2. Small r is equals to small mt by 2. The above equation becomes after considering this value mt by 2. So here also we have a module, here also we have a module, get cancelled. Therefore these are the remaining terms. And we know that gear ratio is equals to number of teeth on wheel to number of teeth on pinion. So here we have T by T, substitute G. Therefore above equation becomes like this: small t by 2 into root of 1 plus G into G plus 2 into sine square phi minus 1. Now minimum number of teeth on pinion to avoid the interference becomes 2 times of addendum of pinion divided by root of 1 plus G into G plus 2 into sine square phi minus 1. Suppose if the number of teeth on gear as well as pinion is equal or same, then G value become 1. If I substitute G is equals to 1 in this equation, it becomes T is equals to 2 times of, this is AP, addendum on pinion, AP divided by root of 1 plus 3 sine square phi minus 1.